You know that phase teenagers have of trying to fit in? I had that phase. Wanting to wear the perfect outfits, have the best grades, have a big group of friends, and just be popular. I lived in that mindset for 5 years. For 5 years straight, I just wanted to be popular and just someone better. And maybe the adults in the room can relate to this when you try to fit into conversations or groups back in school or college, or you see your children going through it right now. It's universal. Back then, success to me was simple: be perfect, be popular, and be confident. I never failed. But no matter how hard I tried to fit into groups or conversations, it never clicked. The harder I tried, the more invisible I felt. So it all started in fifth grade. While everyone was playing, having fun, playing a sport, I sat quietly. I was a little underconfident, focused on the textbook, and I really, really wanted to make friends. So that year, I faced bullying and isolation, and it was a tough year for me. And at 10 years old, it feels like the end of the world. I felt like this is it. So in sixth grade, I switched schools. New school, new hope, new friends. I was confident that this is the year, this is it. I'm going to change, I'm going to make new friends, have a big circle. And I made friends, however, I lost them after a few months. And again, I started blaming the world. That why does this always happen with me? Why is everybody so confident in going out there? And, people are fake, my friends leave me. And in seventh grade, COVID hit. And suddenly, when all the classmates were online on calls, I felt isolated. I was close to my family. And I love them, but when you're a teenager, being left out feels like a wound that does not heal. By ninth grade, I was desperate to fit in. I started socializing more and going out there. However, it came at a cost. My grades dipped, my confidence took a hit. I joined the school dance team, but I could never perform solo. I was always scared of the spotlight. And I asked myself again, why not me? So looking back now, it may not seem like much. But when you're 13, 14, 15, this is your world. And when that world rejects you, it's like the floor is gone beneath your feet. So how did I break the cycle? One evening, I broke down and I told my parents everything, that this is what's been happening, this is how I feel. And my dad asked me one question: what are the exact traits that this ideal person you want to be has? So I thought about it. I would want this person to be outgoing, to be confident, to be welcoming, accepting towards people. I would want them to have some passions and to be recognized for something. Then he asked me, what is stopping you from being that person today? And it hit me. Nothing. It's me who's stopping me. Then he said, pick one quality of the ideal person you want to be and live it today. So that became my first real mindset shift. It was slow and tough, but I kept going. And I started by, firstly, I stopped prejudging people. And I started by accepting them for who they are. I stopped chasing after groups, after people, and after a few months, I realized that when I stopped chasing, I started attracting the opportunities, the kind of people I want around me, and positive energy. In 10th grade, I threw myself into extracurriculars, into academics, and I was just focusing on improving. I didn't have time to think about others' opinions, to seek validation. I was just focusing on myself. I worked upon my performance skills, my public speaking. I made dance my safe space where I can express myself openly. And slowly, I became the kind of person that even if I'm alone, I'm happy and contented from within. Then came 11th grade, student congress elections. The thought of campaigning terrified me. Talking to new people, asking to win votes, and putting myself out there, it felt impossible. My anxiety was through the roof. But I realized something. I don't need to scream for attention or be loud about it. I just need to be who I am. So I approached people in a friendly manner. I listened to their ideas, I shared my ideas. And then I gave a speech to the entire high school. That is something that the old me would have never dared to do. And then came the result day. And I lost by a couple of votes. And I felt crushed. I felt so bad for a couple of days. However, the third or fourth day, I stood back up. And that experience taught me something so vital, that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a step towards it. It was important for me to not win in that particular category, to understand how far I have come, to deal with not always winning, with losing as well. And it shaped my confidence and my character in so many ways. So, how do I define success now? Not being perfect, not by being universally liked, not by even winning every time. Success to me is becoming better than who you were yesterday. And I'm not saying it for the sake of it. I have genuinely felt that way. I've lived through these experiences and realized that I had to fall in order to be what I envisioned to be. Because here's what I've learned. Failure is inevitable. At every stage of life, you will fall. But what gets you back up every time, that one thought, that one belief, that is what success means to me. And for the thought that keeps me going is that if I have done it before and get back up from there, I can do it again. And it's never the end. It always gets better from here. So maybe success was never about being perfect at all. Maybe it was about the willingness to stand out from the crowd. Because in the end, those who change the world, they don't fit into groups. They are the ones who boldly stand out. Today, my definition of success is very different. For me, success is not about being flawless. It's about being my true self every day and showing up as my true self again and again and again. Thank you.